after coordinated US and Israeli strikes struck government and military targets in the heart of the city. Visuals on your screens. The strikes have shaken neighborhoods with terrifying booms and explosions. Let's also take a look. Now to Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta. Ambassador, how worried should we be now about Iran's naval power and its proxy groups?
Kriti, I feel that the Iranian capability to launch a strike has been considerably damaged, and it is now at a much lower scale. And that is why Iranians are now ready to talk. You would remember 2 days ago they said we are not willing to talk at all.
Yeah.
Now they are willing to talk because there has been degradation of their facilities and they don't have much firepower left which can actually counter the US. That is one part. The second thing is about nuclear installation. I believe that they have been damaged considerably, but one doesn't know because some of those installations are underground in the bunkers. How far the US and Israelis have been able to damage that, we don't know. So far as the regime is concerned, I believe the Iranians have right to form a regime, but the regime should not be, radicals. The mullahs having a very radical philosophy against every other person is not good. That is what Iran has been doing. They don't want Israel to exist. They want to, kill the so-called Zionist state completely. Now that coexistence, challenging the coexistence is not correct on the part of Iran. Iran is a civilizational country. They should live with the other countries. If they had a moderate regime, Iran would have been a great economic power today in the region. But they have this mullahs, ruling the country who just want to have nuclear power and missile capabilities so that they can rule the Islamic world. That is their target. And that is why they have created these three proxies, Houthi, Jamaat and Hezbollah. So unless Iran stops these things, I think the negotiations will not be very useful. And that is what US is waiting for. US is waiting for them to further degrade their capability, both in terms of the proxies as well as their own, so that they can negotiate from a very, very strong hand. And I think the negotiations will start in about week to 10 days time from now. That is my feeling, because Iranians are now suffering and the naval vessels have been completely, sunk into the oceans. They had one aircraft carrier which is now sunk completely, and their frigate and 7 other vessels have been sunk. So their naval power will not be enough. Now the only power they have is the, revolutionary guards, and they have some arms and ammunition. They are threatening to block the Strait of Hormuz. I think that threat is, to me, looks more rhetoric than actual. I don't think they can block. If the Americans want, they can actually open the Strait of Hormuz without any problem. So I don't foresee any long-term issues right now. In my view, I think in 2-3 weeks' time, the things should become close to normal. Not normal, of course, close to normal, but the proxy war and the guerrilla warfare will continue for a long time.
All right, sure.